again today. How does it feel to put it on pole around here?
It feels great. It's been good. It's good fun in the session. To be fair, the first two runs hasn't been the easiest because wind picked up quite a bit compared to FP3 and was a bit more snappy. The car rear end was not as planted, so also overheating was a little bit worse because of that. But overall was a good session. I'm happy with that. Lap 1 in Q3 was strong. Lap 2 I overdid a little bit because it was a strong lap, but yeah, happy with it and looking forward to tomorrow.
So what could stop you from the win tomorrow? What would be the biggest concern? Is it the Ferraris coming through? Is it your teammate? What would be the one thing that you would think that could stop me tomorrow from winning?
I think can be my teammate, can be myself, to be fair. But I'm not gonna worry too much about it. I'm just gonna focus on what I have to do, trying to get the procedure right, good start without overdoing it, and then trying to, hopefully we'll be P1 into turn 1, and then we can make the best use of the free air and I'll try to set the pace. But of course, I'm just gonna, try to work on what I have to do together with Bono and my other engineers, and in order to be as ready as possible for tomorrow.
Great job, well done.
Thank you.
Hi, George. You said on the radio we couldn't lose this much pace. Did you find any of it back, did you feel, by the end of that session? And do you know what that's down to?
Well, we made an adjustment on the rear of the car in qualifying, but it was like tiny. It was meant to be transparent. And I went out and it was so bad it felt like something was broken on the rear. It didn't improve. I just had to adjust my driving style a lot. I had to remove a huge amount of front wing to compensate. It was almost like I was spinning off on the entries of the corner, and the last corner I couldn't get round. I was almost spinning in this corner, and yeah, really annoying. Don't know what happened.
Did they tell you it was a performance thing, or was there something broken? Why did you change something?
No, it was... The reason we changed is it was just balancing the car out. I don't want to get too much into details, but
okay.
it was only a very small change. Like it's something we've always done in the past. So either, we're still new to this car. Either it has a much bigger impact than we realise, or we did something wrong, or something's broken. And unfortunately, we're a little bit handcuffed now. It's 2 weekends in a row we've had. China, we were obviously quick throughout and just got unlucky in Q3. Here was odd.
But a bad day being P2 is a pretty good day still. Tomorrow for the start, do you and Kimi just have to make yourselves as wide as possible to stop those Ferraris trying to come through, or can you still go for yourself and try and take the lead yourself, or what
I mean,
happens?
we've made some improvements with the starts. Slightly easier at this track because there's higher grip compared to what we saw in Melbourne, so there shouldn't be as much difference between everyone, but we still see how volatile everything is there. So I'll see what I can do. Obviously, I want to try and get into the lead, but it's a long race and plenty of opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks.
Hey Oscar, well, for a change it feels like things are going a bit smoother for you. How pleased are you at the way you handled FP3 and that qualifying run to get into the top 3?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think that was more or less all we had. The last lap of Q3, wasn't great, but the first lap was pretty solid. So no, all in all, pretty happy with that. Nice to get a bit closer to Mercedes, so hopefully we can stay there tomorrow.
How much of a step forward does the car feel in terms of performance?
Tough to say. I don't think it's, the car's not changed in the 3 races we've had, so it doesn't really feel that much different. I think, maybe this track suits us a little bit better, and I think we've been able to exploit the power unit a bit better and just optimize things a bit more, because I think Melbourne and even China a little bit, we didn't, I think we're clearly behind in terms of our package, but I didn't think we got the most of it either, and I think this weekend we've done a really good job of that. So nice to be making some progress, but still a pretty big gap to...
Hi Lando, you've had a lot of time in the garage this weekend. Did that affect your rhythm for qualifying, or do you think you still got the most out of those laps today?
It's a very difficult question to answer. I mean, it certainly impacted our ability to test things, try things, get comfortable with the car early on. also do high fuel running and prepare for tomorrow. Like I've done no high fuel running, so it's certainly just been difficult and tricky, and I've been playing a lot of catch up this weekend, even into qualifying. I don't want to say all of the gap today was simply that. I certainly don't feel like I was on top form and got everything out of it, and I made a couple of mistakes on my final lap. As it did, it seemed like everyone made or went a little bit slower by a couple, so yeah, I think I did a good job. Like I'm happy with P5. Was very close to Charles, and it was a small gap, so you know it hurts a little bit more knowing the gap was that small. But otherwise, I feel like I did a good job. Could have been better, yes. It also could have been a lot worse, you know. So I'll take it on the chin, and then I'll prepare the best I can for tomorrow.
It did look yesterday as though you'd closed the gap a little bit to Ferrari, and you'd found some performance with some solutions. Do you feel the same way today or not?
I mean, we did yesterday. It's always hard to know how much other people, you know, when they turn up the engine and that kind of thing. So we certainly felt better yesterday. This morning then felt quite a bit worse, and we were a bit confused as why we seemed quite a long way off. But then we seem to take a step forward again into quali now. So it just seems a bit up and down for whatever reason. So it's just sensitive. I think the cars are sensitive to wind conditions, temperature, all those things, and also just you never know what other people are doing. So I think we're happy with the result as a team today.
Thank you. Recover from it. Can you tell me why qualifying is so frustrating for you right now and what you're dealing with?
It's very frustrating because coming Q3, at least myself, and that's how I approach qualifying since forever, you go into that last lap and you try things that are a little bit above whatever you've tried before. And when you do that, the system needs to re-optimize everything while you are driving, basically. And so that, for some reason, whenever I get to Q3, I start losing time in the straight. So I make time in the corners, I lose time in the straight. And this is very frustrating because you never really put a lap together because you're always compromising one thing for another. And that's a little bit frustrating, but it's the way it is for everybody. I feel for some reason that we are a little bit more exposed to that compared to maybe the Mercedes engine, which is something that we need to look at. I also know that the FIA is obviously trying to understand what other things we can do to fix those issues going forward, because it's still something that everybody has. But yeah, apart from that, I was actually very happy with my lap. I've had a moment in turn 8, but actually this doesn't have any implications in whatever I've had later on. For, like engine power unit wise, it didn't have any influence.
Do you feel then that your driving skill and your talents are being limited somewhat then at the moment?
I mean, I feel like this will be quite arrogant to say it like that, but surely I think for everybody, like going into Q3 is just not the nicest feeling, because we want to be at the limit of those cars, and whenever you play with those limits, not only you pay the price of a small snap, but you also pay triple the price in the straight. And this is very frustrating because qualifying, it's all about us trying to find the limit and to play with the limit. And at the moment, whenever you play with the limit, you get destroyed in the straight. So you've got to stay right underneath it, which is an art in itself. And I mean, all the good drivers need to make the difference anyway. But I think it's less rewarding for the drivers that like to really push over it. And most of the time in Q3, that's paying off, but not with these cars.
Lewis, from the data we saw, it looked like you were faster in the corners than Charles, but slower on the straights. Is this an element of this year's racing that every driver sort of has to adapt to, or how are you feeling in the car, do you feel?
I'm generally feeling, I was feeling pretty decent. I mean, it's just we're not very quick. I mean, compared to the guys, the Mercedes and a little bit the McLaren. Yeah, my first lap I was up, and then I lost 2.5 tenths just on the straights, just from I had a snap, and then it changed the deployment, and then that was it. So, and at the point I was up, so I probably, if we didn't have that problem, I probably would have finished. I probably would have had 4th. But other than that, it's just the way this deployment situation is.
From the races you've done so far, what have you learned that you can take into tomorrow's race to turn that P6 into a podium or better?
I don't know whether or not we can turn it into a podium, but I mean, our race pace has been pretty decent. It looks like McLaren have taken a step forward. Naturally, they've got the Mercedes engine, which is a long way ahead of us at the moment. and yeah, we've got a huge amount of work to do. To be 8 tenths off or 7 tenths, whatever it is. Even if you bring an upgrade of a couple of tenths, 3 tenths, 4 tenths, is still a long way off. So to close that gap is going to take a mighty push from everybody.
Thanks, Lex.
Hey Max, it looked like a bit of a world of pain out there. Can you just talk me through how tough it was behind the wheel?
Yeah, not good. We thought we had we fixed a little bit in FP3, but then going into qualifying, it was again very difficult. Just sliding a lot, but at the same time also not having the rotation mid corner everywhere. So yeah, that makes it quite a complicated balance. So yeah, that's not ideal around here.
I know that last year when you were trying to chase things, you kind of took this opportunity to try lots of different things. Is that just what you're going to have to keep doing until you find a solution?
Yeah, but I think we have bigger problems than what we had last year. Some parts of the car at the moment are not working how we want them to work.
Hi Isaac, considering how tough this car has been to drive this weekend, you happy to have at least got into Q3 pretty comfortably at the end?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be very hard to get to Q3 considering all the practice sessions. But yeah, the car felt very different in qualifying, not very much in a good way. It was just very hard to drive, but it was better. So yeah, honestly, top P7 was like my goal, my unachievable goal, but we are very close to it.
So how are you feeling about tomorrow then, with a car that I guess changed quite a lot to quali, and then you're not quite sure how it's going to react?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be already scoring a point considering how close it is with the cars around me. It's going to be tricky, but of course points is the target. But anyway, the end goal is not to score points tomorrow, it's to understand how we can make that car faster.
Well, best of luck with that. Well, Carlos, you made it into QT for the first time this year. How pleasing is that? I know you've got a big journey ahead of you, but it's a baby step, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously as a team I think we've been a bit more competitive in low fuel this weekend, and with a very good lap in Q1 I managed to sneak through into Q2, beating I think it was Franco and Oli at the time on quicker cars, but obviously on one side happy that on a personal level I'm extracting everything out of the car, but at the same time frustrated that it's just for P15, P16 on the grid. No? So keep digging, keep working at it, and see if we become quicker soon.
I know that when we talked yesterday you said that the longer run pace was a bit more tricky. Did you learn anything overnight to give you a bit more hope that it might be a little bit better tomorrow?
I did try a long run this morning and it seemed a bit better, but we were so far off, like 4 or 5 tenths off the midfield, that I don't think we put on the car 5 tenths over the overnight changes. So I do expect tomorrow to be racing only Alex probably, and have a good race between each other, and I think Franco and Oli should pretty easily finish ahead.
Great stuff. Well, good luck tomorrow. Hey Alex, obviously frustrating to get knocked out. Just talk me through where you think you were losing it out there.
We'll see. I think the corners were looking good. Balance in the car was feeling good as well. Just we're losing out somewhere. So we'll look at the data and try and fix this issue.
Heard you on team radio. It sounds like there's been a problem that you've been encountering those last couple of races. What's that all about?
I don't want to go into details. I think as a team we just need to understand where it's coming from. It's been there from Australia, I would say, and it's been hard to compare because it's either one car on track or the other one in the garage. But this weekend both cars have been running smoothly, so it's been easy to see. So we'll have a dig and figure it out.
Right, thanks very much for that. Cheers. Well, Gabby, another Q3 performance. How pleased are you at the way you put those laps together out there today?
Yeah, it was a good quali. I think we built up through quali, Q1 and then going to Q2, putting some great laps out there. So yeah, I would say I'm very happy with what the team has provided to me today as a car, as a power unit. Still a lot to work and to get better. Also from my side, things that I need to fine tune, but I'm extremely happy to be starting tomorrow inside the top 10 and be able to fight for points.
You guys have looked quick all weekend throughout all the practices. How much does that bode well for tomorrow when points are on the table in the race?
Let's see, tomorrow is a different day, but I think we are fighting a lot for the points. We have 2 cars ahead of us that we know we have pace to be fighting with, and we're going to give our best.
Hey, Nico, obviously such fine margins out there. Where do you think it kind of went away from you today?
Yeah, it always bunches up in quali, doesn't it? And yeah, fine margins. Not, ideal on my side. Q2 wasn't clean enough both runs, so yeah, paid a price for that by not being through. Car felt decent, but yeah, not quite enough.
Long afternoon tomorrow. From what you learned this morning in FP3 and just how the car felt more generally in quali, how are you feeling about things tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we're in the mix. We're fighting definitely in and around P10 or inside the points. But you see, competition is high. And we're going to be fighting with a few other teams.
Ollie, that was tough. Just tell us, were you expecting to be out in this session, and what do you think it was down to?
No, not at all. We encountered a bit of a problem with the software or with the power unit in general in the first run, and just didn't have any enough straight line speed. Second run, I don't know if it was fixed or not, but I just wasn't really able to find much lap time out there, and yeah, it was a shame. It's really tight margins, and of course when the first run was pretty, but I just wasn't really able to find much lap time out there, and yeah, it was a shame. It's really tight margins, and of course when the first run was pretty much wasted because of the issue we had. I just didn't make the step on the second one, it looks like.
What can you expect from the race tomorrow then? I mean, we've talked about the opportunities to overtake with these new regulations. Do you see opportunities tomorrow?
Yeah, certainly. I think I'm still very optimistic. I think if it was 12 months ago, it would be much less. But there's still going to be plenty of opportunities tomorrow. Lots of overtaking, safety car risk as well. So looking forward to seeing what we can do.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Esteban, such tight margins out there. Obviously, just missed out on Q3 today. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think 2/10 is quite a big margin. I don't think we had that in the tank today. I'm pretty happy with the job that we've done on our side. Just looking at ourselves, I think it was pretty positive the way we've built the weekend and the way the car felt, around the lap. I think that last lap was pretty solid. There wasn't much more in there, so we have a little bit more to work on. But I think overall we did the maximum we could today, and it's been a while since it didn't happen, so I'm pretty pleased that we've managed to do that.
So from the point of being able to do the maximum today and knowing what your rivals have sort of achieved in the immediate thing, what's it going to take to try and get into the points tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're going to have a good start. That's the aim, obviously, of tomorrow. Try and get a decent getaway, try and navigate ourselves in the points. If we are in there, we should be able to lock that. It's never a guarantee, but there will be quite a lot of weird overtakes and a lot of things happening, but the aim is to move forward on the advantage that we have, and so far it is the start, but we need to make it happen and see if we can hold it then.
Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Fantastic
Thank you very much.
Stuff. I mean, we heard it on team radio. You've done exceptionally well today. Just tell us how it felt out there.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, to be honest, it's not been an easy week so far. I missed all of P2. I missed a good chunk of P3 as well with some issues. So I had reasonably low expectations coming into the session. We were even just talking about getting out of Q1. But I mean, yeah, I'm super happy, super grateful to the team for the job they've done to help give me a car that I had confidence in. It's not an easy track to come to as a rookie, especially when you miss mileage. I mean, it's a confidence track, so to be able to miss a lot of laps and still get straight up to the limit is a big part, thanks to them. But then I'm also going to be honest, I'm very proud of myself. I think the job I did in Q2 was pretty impressive. And yeah, I had a lot of fun on that lap. I knew after run one that if I did a perfect job, I might be able to just squeeze through. So I told myself I'm just going to switch off the brain, hope for the best, and send it, and I think it was such an exhilarating feeling as well, just on a track like this, when you're just at one with the car. It was, you'll know yourself, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Don't make him jealous.
Exactly. Well, congratulations. Nice work. And you're right. For a rookie, this track is really difficult, especially turn 2 up to turn 7. You don't breathe. It's difficult to even think at that moment. How was it for you through there? Can you let us know how it feels? And
yeah, I mean it felt good. I mean, I haven't done that much driving, so my sort of reference, I mean, FP1, obviously the grip was low. It was sort of sliding around a lot on both axles. Then FP3 was a bit better. But now in quali, it was, the thing was pretty pinned. And I don't know, you're so on the limit, it's always moving a bit, but you kind of just switch off the brain and send it. And yeah, just it's hard to describe. I mean, you're not far from putting it in the fence at sort of many moments through that section, but yeah, you kind of just have some fun.
I was just going to ask, we've been talking a lot, particularly in response to Charles Leclerc's comments, which you won't have heard, saying that the progression through qualifying, it's hard to track from Q1 to Q3 with the track improvement, with you pushing a little bit more. You're obviously learning a lot, having missed a session. Just talk us through that process in the car from your first run in Q1 to the final run in Q3. How are you deciding where you're going a little bit deeper into a corner or a little bit more aggressive?
So, I mean, obviously on lap 1, run 1, you just kind of, you make a baseline. Obviously, you don't want to, you need to get on it. So you sort of do your first lap, try to be on the limit, and then you make a step for, you push a bit more on lap 2. Hope that's enough to get into to Q2. And then for me, it was kind of really just trying to put a really solid banker on the board in run 1 of Q2, and then run 2 of Q2 was just send it and, you know, hope for the best, see what's, you know, what's left. I mean, obviously Charles is in a bit of a different position. He's got a car that's a bit easier to get into Q3. But I mean, yeah, I was trying to build up and then just sending it with everything I had on Q2. I think I could have done a bit of a better job in Q3, to be honest. I don't think I nailed that. Sorry.
No,
but
I mean, you're being tough on yourself.
I got a bit too happy, I think, but I needed to stay a bit more focused. But I mean, in the end, it's my third race. There's a lot you learn with these sort of things. So I was just happy to get into Q3 because I'm not sure we entirely belong there.
Hey Liam, just how frustrating is it to miss out on Q3 today?
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. I think we had a strong car this weekend, and we had potential to find even more in quali, but yeah, unfortunately we had an issue with the front wing in Q2, and when we changed it for a new one, we completely lost balance, running a different wing than we'd run this weekend. So it's a shame for sure, but we'll obviously try and move forward tomorrow.
Well, how good is the car, do you think, on long run to hopefully give you the opportunity to try and make up a few pace and scratch into the points?
It's just hard to overtake. I think actually, like, I think we have speed to move forward, but I don't think it's that straightforward. We'll find out tomorrow, but at least on the long run yesterday, I was in and around cars and it wasn't very straightforward.
All right, best of luck tomorrow. Looked like a tough old day out there. We know where the car is, we've heard all about it, but how tough was it for you particularly today to try and get some performance out of it?
Honestly, it didn't change much compared to the first two races. Still the same car and still the same challenges that we are facing. So yeah, more or less what we expected. I think Suzuka is not the best track for us in terms of weaknesses on the car. So yeah, it was tough, and it's going to be tough, I think, for a few months. You know, I don't expect a big change from night to day, but at the same time, both factories, they are, you know, working in different solutions, different philosophies that they are providing some nice results on paper, you know, so not yet on the car, but you know, this is Formula One, everything takes time, you know, and we race every 2 weeks and we don't have that time, but we need to remain patient.
Did you feel any better in the car today? Because I know the team tried to put some countermeasures in to try and make it feel a little bit more comfortable. Was it any better?
Not really. Yeah, yesterday I felt quite good, and vibrations on the car were a lot less, so I was happily surprised. And today they came back, so it seems also a little bit of a random thing that we face day by day. So hopefully tomorrow we have a lucky day and we can finish the race.
Hey Lance, well it looks like you guys are a bit more reliable at least, but obviously performance is still lacking. Just talk me through how that car was out there in quali.
Yeah, some issues on the last run. I was improving a couple of tenths, and then we had a battery issue, so I lost some time. But yeah, we know the areas we have to work on, so the focus remains the same, and we'll try and yeah, just get as far as we can in the race tomorrow. Hopefully see the checkered flag.
Hey Checo, considering the difficult day you had yesterday, are you pretty pleased with how qualifying went?
I mean, I'm pleased in one way, but the other, we've been having a lot of issues with deployment. We keep losing around 0.3 to half a second every lap on deployment. Something that we haven't been able to come on top of. I think there was a lot more potential in it. And yeah, that was really the issue. I really hope that for tomorrow in the race we can fix it, because there was also in the long run. So it will be interesting to see the race, because I think we have better race pace than quali. So hopefully we can be a little bit more in the mix further forwards.
Did it feel any better deployment-wise in quali, and how much do you think it is costing you?
Well, the only reference I have is to my teammate, and it's around 3 to 5 tenths, depending on the lap. And I think from a qualifying perspective, nothing has changed. Not for us. I think we need bigger changes, because it's a shame. You come here and Suzuka is the best circuit in the world, and it hasn't been that enjoyable, because we are recharging a lot through Sector 1 and stuff. So I really hope that in the coming races we are able to figure out something better for qualifying, because at the moment we are too energy dependent, and hopefully we can find some good changes.
Hey Valtteri, just in terms of how quali went out there, obviously got ahead of the two Aston Martin. Can that be considered a little bit of a win at least?
I think it's still, even though we feel like we made improvements, but that's where we are. We are still good that we are ahead of Aston, but yeah, still the gap to the midfield is there. But yeah, pretty straightforward quali. Not the best my last lap, but I tried the best I could.
In terms of race pace, it tends to be better, at least based on what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like at least in China the gap was a bit smaller in the race pace. So let's see. It's a long day ahead. Anything can happen, and as always at this stage of the season, if we can finish the race, we could be getting closer to the top 10.
Great stuff. Thanks, Valtteri.
Thank you.
Hey Franco, obviously encouraging to get through to Q2, but obviously then didn't quite have enough pace to make any more progress. Just to explain where the car was.
No, it was quite tricky, I think, quali in general. We didn't have the pace in low field this weekend. I struggled quite a bit. And then Q2 was a bit of a mess. I didn't really prep the tires well. It was a few things out of the window, and it punished me a bit more. Q1 was decent. Q2 was not good enough. So yeah, we need to understand, and yeah, hopefully we have a good pace tomorrow.
Did the car feel much better from FP3 through to quali?
Not much better, no. I think the bigger step was from P2 to P3. That was a good step in terms of balance and limitations. But yeah, we need to understand a bit more, especially up to Pierre, and try to be stronger in the rest tomorrow.
Okay, so yeah, what a lap. You're making a bit of habit of this in a positive way. How pleased are you with that lap?
I'm extremely pleased. Yeah, probably the best qualifying of the year, especially because we started really on the back foot yesterday. I didn't feel comfortable in the car. A lot of understeer and quite inconsistent, and the team did a very good job overnight in the direction we took in terms of setup. Really paid off. This morning was already a step better, and in quali it was the best car I've had this weekend, so I could really drive and commit the way I wanted, and put the laps when we needed. So 7th in Shanghai, 3 tenths of the McLaren, 7th here, 10.5 from Lewis. So yeah, it's definitely bringing a bit more enjoyment and more excitement into the team.
How much confidence is that giving you heading into the race tomorrow, particularly at the way you as a team have handled the weekend to try and get on top of everything?
I think very credits to the team on the improvements. And yesterday I felt better in the high field than I was on short run, so I was a bit worried for this afternoon, and in the end it went a lot better than we all thought. So I think for tomorrow I'm pretty excited, because I think we should be carrying the good form from today, and just need to make sure we don't get caught out with all this safety car restarts, stuff like that, which cost us a bit so far. But yeah, looking forward to the battle.
So many congratulations wrapping up the front row of the grid of the Japanese Grand Prix. A, have you noticed a change in Kimi since he won the first Grand Prix? And B, is there a confidence about him? Seems a bit of a confidence about him this week.
Yeah, I think when you hear his radio communications also in the intercom in the garage, it's just calm, not putting himself too much under pressure, putting that one lap in, that was very good. Bono told him put a banker in, and then he pushed it a little bit hard on the last one, and it wasn't so good. But yeah, it's really pleasing to see.
Okay, can you tell us what's going on with George?
Yeah, I think we did probably a setup twerk on the other side. something we did. We expected to have less impact than it had, and it put the car in the nose, so too much oversteer, and that made it very difficult for him.
Okay. Is that something you can? Is that to protect any sort of sets of tyres for the race, or is that something you can change for tomorrow?
No, it's probably the opposite. I think he needs to carry this into the race now, which is certainly a disadvantage, but these things happen.
I've never thought of George as the one who likes twerks or twerking, so he'll have to get over that, I think. But
I hope I used the right word. I mean, we did a mistake. Is that twerking?
I think it was I mean, twerking is never a mistake. Maybe he did a tweak to the car that was bad, and I think a twerk might be something else. Anyway, we'll leave.
Maybe it was just a change that went wrong.
Anyway, a good day for Mercedes. This is a better weekend for McLaren that you're actually mixing it with Ferrari in qualifying.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some indications of progress from a performance and overall competitiveness point of view. I think this progress comes from the fact that we are getting a little bit more out of the chassis through the setup, but mostly we are getting more out of the power unit. We have always talked about how difficult with this new generation of power unit it is to exploit, but we are getting more familiar with it. We are collaborating better with our HPP engineers, and I think this is rewarded by cashing in some lap time. Having said that, it's positive that in qualifying we are there with Ferrari, but Mercedes is still one step ahead.
Okay, and between the drivers, good recovery from Lando, and Oscar's just looked on it all weekend, really.
Well, Oscar has driven very well throughout the weekend, and honestly, Oscar has been fast throughout the season so far. He just hasn't had the chance to show it, because in 2 races he was not able to take part. But I think Oscar is in really good shape, so hopefully tomorrow he will have the chance to show it. Lando, we have to say that as a team we kept him on the back foot because we had some delays in P1, some problems in P2. This morning in P3 we needed to change the battery once again. So Lando is doing his best to minimize the impact of this disruption. He's doing well. Very happy with Lando and Oscar, how they are driving. Hopefully, like I say, tomorrow we will be able to have a normal race and cash in some points.
Well, some points. Podium. Can you stay ahead of Ferrari?
I think Ferrari have shown that they gained some relative pace in the race. So I would be positively surprised that we are in condition to compete with Ferrari for podiums. We have seen progress this weekend, so definitely we will be there. It's also racing, anything can happen. We will try and have a go at podium, of course, but we know that we have to improve the car, and above all we have to bring some upgrades. That's the plan for the following race, and then we can be more steadily fighting for a podium and hopefully later on in the season for the victory.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andrea. Thank you.
All right, welcome everyone to the channel. What a qualifying session that was. Suzuka just delivered again, and honestly you could see it in the interviews straight away. The drivers looked mentally drained. This track is on another level. We saw everyone that was like, thank God that's over. Everyone was talking about how intense that lap feels there, like there's no room to breathe, especially through the first sector. It's just corner after corner, and if you're even slightly off, that's it, lap gone, and you cannot get back after that. This is going to be like the craziest, one of the craziest Grand Prix that we will have throughout the season, and it will be the most interesting one because the fan base over there is astonishing, and we know that Japan is how do I say this? Japan is the country where drivers are born, or like sports cars are born. So it's like a tradition over there. It's like it's like a tradition, you know. Like I don't know how to say it in other words. And you could tell some of the drivers were really happy and with what they pulled off. There were a couple of drivers saying that their lap felt right on the limit, like everything just clicked. Those are the kind of laps that where you're not even thinking anymore. You're just reacting. But at the same time, not everyone felt that same way. Some drivers sounded a bit frustrated, especially with how inconsistent the car felt. One lap it grips, the next one it doesn't. The battery doesn't work. The power unit doesn't give that kind of power that they want, and engine doesn't work like it is, electronical problems and things like that. And around Suzuka, that's the worst feeling you can have. You need confidence here, otherwise you just can't push. Another big thing that kept coming up was how much the track was evolving. Grip levels were changing constantly throughout the session, so timing your run became super important. If you went out too early or too late, you could lose a lot of time without even doing anything wrong. And that's what makes qualifying here so tricky. It's not just about driving fast, it's about being out there at the perfect moment. So you need to have that kind of sense on your wheel that it must be like close to perfection. You know, like, because you cannot make perfection, but it needs to be close to perfection. So that's how tricky this track is. Uh, Traffic was also a bit of an issue. A few drivers hinted that their final laps weren't clean and around the track like this. Even a small disturbance can cost you everything. You need a perfect flow, and if someone's in your way or you get dirty air, it just breaks your rhythm completely. Now, looking ahead to the race, that's where the things get really interesting. A lot of them were already talking about the tire management. This track is brutally on tires, especially with all those high-speed corners. Even if someone looked strong today, it doesn't automatically mean they'll have it easy tomorrow on the race day. You could tell there's a bit of uncertainty, like nobody really knows how it's going to play out over a full race distance. Time management and best strategy wins this race. Like, definitely. It's going to be a really interesting race. And also, there's the pressure factor. Because of at Suzuka, if you make a mistake, you don't just lose a bit of time, you can cost everything. So it costs you the whole race because you can go behind five cars like this. We heard that a few times, drivers saying you have to fully commit, but at the same time, you're always right on the edge of going too far. The balance is what makes this track so special and at the same time so dangerous. Overall, though, the vibe after qualifying was really interesting. Some drivers looked confident, like they got everything sorted out, something in hand for tomorrow, and others not so much. You could sense a bit of doubt, especially from those who couldn't quite get the lap together, and that makes is exactly what we want heading into race day, especially for us fans. We want to see like drivers tackling with each other, like fighting for that place, fighting for that extra space, fighting for that extra gap, fighting for that extra 100th of a second. Like it's like this is what we want to see. Like we love seeing action. Action is what keeps us alive and keeps us interested into this sport. And hopefully they won't kill it by uh, bringing this kind of uh, how do I say it? How do I say it? Non-spiritual cars. Let's say it like this. This is non-spiritual car. It's all electric. Doesn't have a motor that screams just like 10 to 15 years ago when we had V8s, we had V10s. We could hear the car scream just from you were like in the last corner, and you could hear the car screaming from the seventh corner coming down your way. We want to see that. We want to hear that screaming of the engine, of that transmission. So yeah, qualifying in overall gave us a bit of everything: confidence, frustration, uncertainty, and all of it. And honestly, that's what makes tomorrow so unpredictable. Yeah, and I just want to say that that's it for this one. Let me know what you guys think on the comment section. Do you see this being a straightforward race, or are we in something chaotic? Is going to be chaotic? Is going to be on fire? Or is going to be like, it's okay? Hopefully, we will see interesting things. And if you have something to add up, comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, because we do everything for you guys and we love what we do. And I'll catch you after the race. See ya.